ओके, डी ब्लॉक कर रहे थे हम। थोड़ी सी प्रॉपर्टीज रह गई हैं इसकी, ऑलमोस्ट ऑल इंपॉर्टेंट वंस व्हिच वी हैव ऑलरेडी डिस्कस्ड, जिसमें से हमको रीजनिंग क्वेश्चंस आते हैं ज्यादातर, एंड आल्सो मल्टीपल चॉइस क्वेश्चंस जो है दे आर गोइंग टू कम फ्रॉम द फर्स्ट हाफ व्हिच वी हैव डन। देयर इज वन और टू आप कह सकते हो कि टॉपिक्स जिसमें से वी कैन स्टिल एक्सपेक्ट क्वेश्चंस व्हिच वी आर गोइंग टू डू टुडे। Okay, so we know that when we are talking of D block, तो D block में हमने उसका एटॉमिक रेडियाई कैसे वेरी करता है, आयनाइजेशन एनर्जी कैसे वेरी करती है, मेटालिक कैरेक्टर कैसे वेरी करता है, तो ये इसकी रिडक्शन पोटेंशियल कैसे वेरी करते हैं और ऑक्सीडेशन पोटेंशियल्स कैसे करते हैं, ऑक्सीडेशन स्टेट्स कैसे वेरी करती है, ये इसकी मेन जो थी प्रॉपर्टीज थी। बट there are many applications of D block which can be seen. For example, its catalytic properties. आप देखते हो कि जितने भी आपने P block में जितने भी reactions करे हैं उसमें जो catalyst use करे थे, they were all those of D block, nickel, iron, vanadium pentoxide, है ना? All these we are done. So all of them they were belonging to the D block. Now similarly we come to other properties, जैसे हम करेंगे इसमें जो ऑक्सा एसिड्स होते हैं, इसके नॉट द ऑक्सा एसिड सॉरी द ऑक्सिन आयंस एंड द ऑक्साइड्स जो इसके होंगे, दे आर गोइंग टू बिहेव एज वेरी गुड ऑक्सीडाइजिंग एजेंट्स। और दो ही आपके सिलेबस में, वन इज K2Cr2O7 एंड द अदर वन व्हिच इज KMnO4, दैट इज गोइंग टू बी द लास्ट टॉपिक ऑफ दिस चैप्टर व्हिच वी विल डू टुमारो। ओके, सो टुडे वी आर गोइंग टू डू अ फ्यू प्रॉपर्टीज। द फर्स्ट वन व्हिच वी विल डू दैट इज कलर, राइट? नाउ इट सेज दैट एनी सब्सटेंस दैट इज गोइंग टू बी कलर्ड if it absorbs radiation, ठीक है, if it is going to absorb radiation of any specific wavelength। अब जो radiation absorb हो गई है वो वाला कलर हमको नजर में नहीं आता। What are we going to see? The radiation which is emitted, right? So if in case any substance is absorbing certain amount of radiations in certain wavelengths, we are going to get colors which are not being absorbed. So जितनी भी उसने on a higher level जाते हुए energy absorb करी है, जब वो वापस lower level पे आएगा तो वो उस energy को transmit करता है in the visible region. Okay, so that is how the color, that is the D block, they are going to be colored because they have the capability to absorb color and then emit certain radiations. इसको हम लोग क्या बुलाते हैं? This is known as DD transitions. DD transitions means that in case of D block, we know there are 5 orbitals which are present, and all of them they may or may not be completely filled. अगर empty orbitals इसके पास present है, तो electrons they take in energy and go to the next orbital of higher energy, और उसके बाद जब वो वापस lower ground state में आएगा, तो वो radiations emit करेगा. Now for any D block element to be colored, there are going to be two conditions which need to be fulfilled. The first one is that in case of this, there should be empty D orbitals present. ठीक है? There should be empty D orbitals present. Then number 2, there should be electrons present to absorb radiations, which very clearly indicates कि अगर D block हमारा completely filled है, तो वो जो जितने भी elements होंगे जिनके पास D block completely filled है, they are going to be colorless. Secondly, all those which do not have electrons in the D block, they are also going to be colorless. जैसे for example, if you are taking off salts of scandium 3 positive, electronic configuration of scandium 3 positive, that is going to become 3D04S0. ठीक है? अब इसके पास कोई भी इलेक्ट्रॉन नहीं है to absorb radiation, therefore this is going to be colorless, right? Similarly, first transition series में, if you are taking titanium 4 positive, again the electronic configuration in this case, that is going to be 3D04S0. Okay, so ये भी क्या होगा? This is also going to be colorless, right? फिर उसके बाद हमारे पास आता है Cu positive. When we looking at the electronic configuration of Cu positive, it is going to be 3D10. So आप देख रहे हो यहाँ पे D is completely filled. So the electrons they do not have any empty d orbital to jump into. So Cu positive will also be colorless. Complete अगर d होगा तब भी colorless, zero अगर d होगा तब भी colorless. ठीक है? Similarly we have zinc 2 positive. Again electronic configuration in this case is 3d10. So this is also going to be colorless. So these are certain exceptions in the first transition series which are going to be colorless. The same goes on to the other ones also, like for example salts of cadmium 2 positive. Cadmium is the last member of the third transition series. ठीक है? So the second transition series. तो यहाँ पे भी जो electronic configuration आएगी that is going to be 4d10. So again this is colorless, and similarly we have Ag positive. Ag positive is going to be colorless. Au positive is also going to be colorless. That is because there is no excitation possible for the electrons to go to higher excitation states, right? Now over here कौन से colors हमें नजर आते हैं? How do we predict कि कोई भी एक अगर इलेक्ट्रॉन है वो किसी एक रेडिएशन को एब्जॉर्ब कर रहा है तो कलर हमें कौन सा नजर आएगा? That can be predicted on the basis of complementary color wheel. Now according to this wheel, any electron if taking in energy from a lower region, that will give us color of a higher region. ठीक है? जैसे अगर violet वो absorb कर रहा है तो violet is a lower wavelength. It is going to give us color of a higher wavelength like yellow. Now if you are looking at the visible region तो हमारे पास आ गया Vibgyor. Okay, तो जब हम complementary वो बनाते हैं color wheel, so it looks something like this, in which at this particular point that is violet which is present. तो जो opposite इसके color होगा that is going to be its complementary color, and that color that is going to be yellow, which means if the electron that has absorbed wavelength with violet, it is going to appear yellow to us. So this is the complementary color. और अगर उसने yellow की wavelength को absorb करा है तो वो हमें क्या नजर आएगा? violet. ठीक है? Similarly जो blue होता है, blue का complementary color that is going to be orange, and green का complementary color that is going to be red. Is it clear? So this is what complementary colors are. So opposite colors they are going to be complementary, and that is what we are going to see. If it is absorbing violet, we get yellow. If it is absorbing blue, we get orange. If it is absorbing green, we are going to get red. Okay. Now we say that when we are talking of Ag positive, in case of Ag positive, we already said that it is colorless. ठीक है? But sometimes it so happens that there are certain compounds of Ag which are colored. Certain compounds of Ag positive, they are colored. Now what is going to be the reason behind this? The reason behind this is that in this case, if the you can say the ionic character is less than 20%, only then those salts they are going to be colored. ठीक है? So if the ionic character is less than is less than 20%, only then it is going to be colored. ठीक है? Is it clear? So this is how it shows color. The second property which we are going to do, this is again a property of concern from your question point of view, that is the magnetic properties. The second properties which we have, they are the magnetic properties. Magnetic properties क्या होते हैं? We say that the d block elements may be either paramagnetic or they may be diamagnetic. Paramagnetic कौन से होते हैं? Paramagnetic are those substances which are weakly attracted by the magnetic field. So these are going to be weakly attracted by the magnetic field. ठीक है? और diamagnetic कौन से हुए? Diamagnetic are those which are repelled by the magnetic field. ठीक है? Now over here, why does this paramagnetic or diamagnetic character arises? Paramagnetic character that generally arises due to presence of unpaired electrons. ठीक है? Because there are presence of unpaired electrons in these substances when put in a magnetic field, due to orientation of the electrons, they are going to be attracted by the magnetic field as we have done in the solid state, the first chapter which we did. Why substances they behave as paramagnetic and diamagnetic? ठीक है? Because every electron when revolving, it has two types of motions we've already studied. One, it is moving around the nucleus, and the second one, it is moving around its own axis. So उसकी वजह से एक जो इलेक्ट्रॉन होता है that starts behaving as a magnet because of the dipole which is created. Okay. Now if there is only one single electron, the single electron will move either clockwise or anti-clockwise. So the spin is only one. If there are paired electrons present in one particular orbital, so one is going to move clockwise and the other one that is going to move anti-clockwise, such that the effect that gets cancelled out. Therefore, diamagnetic substances, they are going to be repelled by the magnetic field due to presence of all paired electrons. Right? Now, in this case, the question which we get is which of the following pairs they are going to be paramagnetic. So remember, you have to calculate the total number of electrons over there. If the total number of electrons they are coming as odd, तो इसका मतलब वो paramagnetic है. और अगर total number of electrons हमारे पास even आते हैं, then they are going to be diamagnetic. An example which we can take over here is that of water. So if you're looking, अगर उसके water आपके पास एक option है, या आपके पास K2O एक option है, third option आपके पास नाइट्रिक ऑक्साइड है और फोर्थ ऑप्शन आपके पास बेंजीन है. ओके, सो इसमें लेट्स कैलकुलेट द नंबर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन्स व्हिच आर प्रेजेंट व्हेन वी टॉकिंग ऑफ वाटर ओवर हियर. सो 2 ऑफ हाइड्रोजन एंड 8 10. ठीक है, सो दैट मींस दिस इज गोइंग टू बी डायमैग्नेटिक बिकॉज़ इवन नंबर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन्स. When we come to K2O, so K2O में 19 2s are 38. So this is also even, this is also even. This will again become even. In this case, nitrogen has how many electrons? 7. और इसके पास कितने हैं? 8 and 7, that is 15. So this is going to be the paramagnetic one. Okay. When you go to benzene also, this is also even. This is also even. The total number of electrons are going to be even. Right? So amongst these 4, NO having odd number of electrons, they are going to be paramagnetic in nature. Okay. Another you can say method by which we can calculate the paramagnetic character is by way of Bohr magnetron. Bohr magnetron जो है that is denoted by mu m, and it can be calculated by n plus 2, where under root of n plus 2, where n that is equal to number of unpaired electrons. ठीक है, n that is going to be equal to number of unpaired electrons. Greater the number of unpaired electrons, more is going to be the paramagnetic character. So if in case we are again comparing, they have given us Fe3 positive, they have given us Cr3 positive, they have given us cobalt 3 positive, and they have given us Mn2 positive. अब इसमें वो बोल रहे हैं कि सबसे ज्यादा पैरामैग्नेटिक कैरेक्टर किसका है. So you need to see कि कितने unpaired electrons are present. So Fe3 positive 26 minus 3 that is equal to 23, है ना. So मतलब 2 उसमें से निकलेंगे और 1 उसमें से निकलेंगे. So we have 5 unpaired electrons over here, right? In case of chromium 3 positive, 1 or 2, only 3 unpaired electrons. ठीक है, right? In case of cobalt, 27 minus 3, 4. Unpaired तो 4 ही होंगे ना. Total number of electrons in D is going to be 6. So that means 4 unpaired electrons. And in case of Mn2 positive, 5 unpaired electrons again. है ना? So 3d5, 4s2, that is the electronic configuration of manganese. So यहाँ पे जब हम लोग paramagnetic character देखेंगे, तो we will see that this and this, both of these, they are going to be greatest. They will have the greatest paramagnetic character due to the maximum number of unpaired electrons. तो ऐसे आपको यहाँ पे तो हमारे पास एक कॉमन आ गया, उसमें आपके पास कोई भी कॉमन नहीं होगा. या आपको पेयर्स दे दिए गए होंगे, सो पेयर्स में वो पूछेंगे कि which of the following will be more paramagnetic. So more the number of unpaired electrons in the D, more is going to be the paramagnetic character. ठीक है? Now when we talking of 3 elements, like we are talking of iron, this is an important concept. We are talking of cobalt and we are talking of nickel. These 3 elements, specifically in the 3D series, they have we can say much more pronounced to unpaired electrons. ठीक है? So because of high number of unpaired electrons over here, they have a greater spin, as a result of which they are going to be very highly paramagnetic. So therefore we give them another name which is known as ferromagnetic. Because they behave as magnets themselves in the presence of a magnetic field. So these are going to be known as ferromagnetic substances. ठीक है? So this is the you can say magnetic character. These 3 substances, they can be easily magnetized. Therefore they are said to be ferromagnetic in nature. The next character which we do is tendency to form complexes. Tendency to form complexes. Now in this case, जब हम इससे next chapter पढ़ेंगे coordinate compound, we say that all the metals which form coordinate compounds, they belong to the D block, right? Now why this is happening, the reason behind this is that the D block, they have empty d orbitals and hence can attract the acceptor atoms which are known as ligands. This we will study in coordinate chemistry in detail. ठीक है? Empty d orbitals and hence they attract the acceptor atoms and therefore easily form complexes. Okay, so over here the point of attachment or the number of bonds it forms with the ligands, the most common ones, they are going to be either 4 or 6, right? So how many ligands they can form bonds with the D block elements, that is going to be either 4 or it is going to be 6. Okay, the reasons behind this tendency to form complexes, that is number 1, small size, number 2, because of small size they have higher nuclear charge. ठीक है? फिर उसके बाद number 3, they have empty d orbitals where the electrons they can reside easily. So number 3, they have empty d orbitals. So these are the 3 reasons why D block they can easily form complexes. ठीक है? फिर उसके बाद again the D block they have a tendency to form interstitial compounds. They have a tendency to form interstitial compounds. Now what is this interstitial compounds? It is seen that when you are going from S to P, size that will keep on decreasing. मतलब जो P के elements हैं, they are going to have less size, smaller size with respect to the elements of D block. Okay, so when we are talking of any P block element which has a smaller size than D block, they can easily fit into the interstitial sites. What are the interstitial sites? If we are kind of, taking any crystal which has the constituent particles arranged in this kind of arrangement, this you also that in your solid state. So ये वाला जो बीच का होता है, this is the interstitial site. Okay, and this is an example which we can take of tungsten carbide, where this is tungsten. Tungsten has a larger size, and carbon that is going to have a smaller size. So carbon can easily fit inside the interstitial sites. So they have a tendency to form interstitial sites. What is going to be the reason behind this? The reason is that the size of the non-metallic P elements is smaller than D elements. Okay, so they can easily fit in between the interstitial sites of D elements. Got it? So an example which we've taken over here is that of tungsten carbide. Now over here the bonds which are going to be formed between these, they are neither typically ionic nor covalent. So we cannot really say that the bonds formed are either ionic. They are not typically ionic. They may have certain percentage of ionic and certain percentage of covalent, but 100% ionic या 100% covalent bonds इसमें present नहीं रहते. ठीक है? And finally we also say that the formulae which they form, the formulae of these compounds, they do not correspond to any normal oxidation state of the metal. Normal oxidation state of the metal. ठीक है? Clear? Now when we are talking of interstitial compounds, there are certain properties which are going to be enhanced when we are making them. Let's go to the characteristics of interstitial compounds. The first characteristic of interstitial compound is that they have similar chemical properties. The interstitial compounds, they will have similar chemical properties but different physical properties. Okay? They are going to have similar chemical properties but they have different physical properties, such as density may be different, conductivity may be different, hardness may be different. So the physical properties, they will depend upon what is the non-metal which we are taking over here. Okay? Then secondly, these metals, they generally become harder because metals are soft, but they become harder on introducing or subjecting it to any non-metal which is placed in the interstitial site. For example, when we are talking of steel, so in case of steel क्या हो रहा है? Iron के अंदर we have carbon in the interstices. Okay? So the reason of hardness is the introduction of carbon in the interstitial sites of iron, which makes it hard. ठीक है? And because they have become harder, obviously what will happen? They will have higher melting points. Right? So their melting points, they are going to become higher. Then the last property which we are going to discuss over here, that is the catalytic properties. Catalytic properties of D block. All the D block elements, they behave as good catalysts. The reason behind that is that the N-1 D d orbital, they have empty orbitals. Subshell it has, or shell has empty orbital, as a result of which they have a tendency to form temporary bonds. With the reactants. ठीक है? So वो d orbitals होते हैं, आपने ऑलरेडी सरफेस केमिस्ट्री में भी ये पढ़ा हुआ है. तो d orbitals के पास जो empty orbitals होते हैं वो एक temporary bond formation करते हैं with the reactants, जिसकी वजह से the reactants they come closer to each other and hence the reaction that proceeds at a faster pace. There are numerous number of catalysts जो कि हम d block से यूज करते हैं. जैसे for example we know we use iron in the Haber's process. Then we use nickel for hydrogenation of oils. Then we are using vanadium pentoxide for the contact process. P block में आपने करा है, ठीक है? Then we are also using molybdenum as a promoter. So there are ample catalysts which can be used. Okay, and also manganese dioxide that is used to decompose potassium chlorate when we were preparing oxygen. So all these catalysts we have done. So mostly जितने भी हम लोग catalysts करते हैं, they all belong to the d block elements because of empty d orbitals which are present. Then they have another very peculiar property, which is alloy formation. Alloys क्या होते हैं? Alloys they are homogeneous mixtures, ठीक है, of two or more than two metals. अब वो जो metals यहाँ पे होते हैं, they generally belong to the d block. Why do d block only contain or are the major constituents of alloys? That is because of the reason that the d block elements have comparable sizes ठीक है, they are going to have comparable sizes because of which क्या होगा कि अगर सबके sizes same हैं, जैसे again if you are taking that there is one metal which is present like this, okay, and we want to introduce another metal into this such as to make it or convert it into an alloy. Alloy will always have better properties of conductivity and density and hardness with respect to that of the soft metal, ठीक है? So अगर हम इसमें कुछ और introduce करते हैं, so that can take the place of the element which is already present, ठीक है? जैसे bronze हो गया, bronze is copper and zinc का alloy. So in that case, because copper and zinc almost have the same sizes, they can be easily interchanged. So that is why they form alloys, ठीक है? Now alloys जिनके पास mercury होता है as one of the constituents, you already know that they are known as what? They are going to be known as amalgams, ठीक है? So all those which have mercury over here, they are going to be known as amalgams. So this is all what we are going to do today. Tomorrow we are going to do two important compounds of D block. One is potassium permanganate and potassium dichromate, and with that we finish D block. F block is a very small topic which we will try to finish it in one day only. And then we go on to the 9th chapter, which is polymer chemistry. ठीक है?